Hey everybody, welcome back to Smash and Grab Comics. I am JP, the new daddy of comics.
Yeah, you're the new daddy.
The new daddy city of comics. I like it. As long as I get to be Wesley Snipes. So.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I am the one and only Tyler. And then of course TR, the no daddy.
Yeah. No daddy.
Yeah.
No, he's the fur daddy.
You're the dog daddy.
Oh, I haven't seen the kitty come in here before.
You're the bone daddy.
I got a cat and 3 dogs.
Yep. Okay, and how many reptiles?
I have 3 snakes.
Yeah, you have 3 snakes.
Yep.
And they're ball pythons?
Yep.
I'm glad I've not seen them.
They're really not scary.
Do you want to move this a little closer?
Yes, I do.
There we go.
Yes, I do.
I'm not a fan of snakes, but once you told me they were here and I'm like, okay,
Well, and they stay in their container.
I like lizards though. I've had various types of four-legged lizards. But
we had like leopard geckos and things like that, but our cat would usually get in there and eat them.
But then right now, my stepson has a type of gecko, and I can't think of what it's called. It'll come to me, but it's fairly aggressive and it's a little bit wider jaw and he's it's scary because
he's like 6 feet long. I think it's called an alligator.
When we didn't have the grate at the top of its terrarium weighted, he pushed it off and got out, and he was on the wall, stuck on
just hanging out.
For those listening at home, I'm miming if I was stuck to the wall like a Garfield cat. With the little suction cup, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, JP, tell us why we're here tonight. Now that we're way off base.
We're here tonight to talk about comics, but you come for the comics, you stay for the hilarity.
Yeah.
So, but tonight we're talking about 2 books. The biggest book this week, we're talking about We Live #1 from Aftershock from the Miranda Brothers.
Yeah. Can I interject?
Please.
For the longest time, I was a very big collector of independent comic books, and since X-Men has rebooted, I've really moved into Marvel much more, and this I think may be the comic that brings me back to independence.
I really thought this book was just everything an independent comic should be. I was really happy with it.
I read it twice.
It has a tri-fold cover.
Yep, so it's pretty sweet.
Folds out.
Yeah,
you get a huge art. This is great. And then also on the inside, another Easter egg and another treat is there's a QR code in here.
Yeah.
Now the QR code, if you scan that, you'll actually get a soundtrack to like listen to the book. So it's pretty awesome. I mean, creatively.
How does one do that? I mean, does I just turn on my camera and
scan you can scan it, absolutely. Or there's like apps so you can scan QR codes. Most phones will have a setting on it that says QR scan. And you'll just switch your camera to QR scan.
Okay.
And it'll take a picture of it. But yeah, it's not new tech, it's old tech. QR code's been around for a long time, but the idea of putting it on the paper and like having something to listen to while you experience this book, I thought was really cool and really different.
Is it a soundtrack or is it someone reading the comic?
No, it's a song and soundtrack that's written for this book.
Nice.
So
do you remember that comic series Wasteland?
Yes.
They did something similar where they had a soundtrack that you got the code with the comic and then you could listen to the music, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you ever read that, TR?
I haven't read that one.
They just ended abruptly, about 5 years back. It got canceled and then it was shelved, and
it was too bad. It was
put on indefinite hiatus, and it never came back.
Yeah.
But it was like the name sounds. It was a wasteland of the United States sometime in the future after a flood, basically. If I remember correctly,
I think so.
Just wiped out.
That's why I got an arc.
Yeah,
you guys are gonna get wiped out. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I got so many chickens.
So, but at this point in time, after this flood, it's a giant wasteland. Right, the water is receded. There's nothing left.
Sure,
and there's just pockets of people trying to survive. Anyway, let's get to We Live though. The Miranda Brothers. Really, I didn't know what to think of this at first. TR, what did you think?
Yeah, at first I was sort of, because I felt like there was going to be a lot more exposition, And then they sort of kicked it into high gear with the little government film cartoon type thing.
Which I thought was amazing, though. Like, that really screamed like Fallout to me, and the Wasteland, the video game.
Yeah.
It really screamed that to me. It put these little cute little characters in here to teach you this backstory really quickly, but easily.
It had a US 1950s video
propaganda film. Yeah. Like,
okay, so
how to protect yourself from a nuclear bomb.
Yeah. This is in the future, and humanity has destroyed the Earth. Okay, now there's a warning that's been sent to Earth within these capsules, saying your doom is imminent. But we can say 5,000 of your children put on this ring on them, or this bracelet.
Yeah.
And have them at the shuttles to return to where? We never find that out.
And they can also bring one guest.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So each braceleted kid brings one person.
We're leaving planet, I assume, right?
Yeah. I believe so. I mean, that's kind of what it says. It shows them being beamed up into a spaceship, the spaceship taking off away from Earth.
Yeah.
But we're really concentrating also on this bus driver. He's kind of there as well.
Yeah.
While this film is kind of playing.
So,
well, you don't know he's a bus driver yet.
He lives. Okay, so basically, it follows the story of this bus driver that's going to bus some of these kids that are on the outliers of the big cities, to the one of the launch sites.
Yeah.
So it's on one of his routes of picking up people that have one of these bracelets, and we come across this little girl who found one, and she put it on her little brother, and as it turns out, since then both her parents have died, so she is in charge of making sure he gets to the launch.
Yeah. And they've got this interesting like futuristic clothing for some of the kids too, which I kind of like, which adds just like a pop of color into like some of this gloomy, doomy background.
What year do you think this is?
I don't even think it says, does it? Look back here.
Well, it's far enough into the future where animals have mutated into very vicious,
yeah,
I don't know what they seem to be,
like prehistoric style beasts.
Yeah, they've
like these.
So I think we're talking centuries in the future after some kind of fallout.
2084.
Okay,
I found it.
Okay,
the year is 2084.
Okay, 60 years in the future. So not as long as I thought, but this boy.
But that's all it takes
along this trip. Yeah, I mean, look at how far we've fallen in the year 2020.
Very true. Imagine something happening. I mean, even within 5 years,
we are. This is new Rome. We are going to see the collapse of the United States before long if things don't change.
I don't think you'll see the collapse of the United States. I think you'll see the birth of something new in democracy that's going to shift in how democracy changes. I don't think we'll ever shift off of our democracy name.
Corruption isn't new.
Oh no, not at all. But
something new.
No, I just meant something that works better. Clearly, one person in charge at the top.
That's what Donald Trump wants.
Yeah, isn't working.
You know, I mean, anyway, let's get off politics.
Sorry.
You and I are both, we're on the same page. We just can't believe this is our world.
Yeah,
every day.
With you there. It's God, and I run our Twitter account, and there are times where it's like, I got to find something lighthearted.
and same with me with doing the Facebook. True, you know, I'm always thrown to the Facebook group different memes and things like that, and I'm going, yeah, it's funny, but who cares? But I'm like, oh, someone might find a funny Batman meme joyful, but I'm like, eh.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to be so present, and you're just reminded of it every day. So.
Yeah. Okay, so we're on this bus trip, and this little boy that has one of these bracelets now, he finds a lizard, and his sister says he can't take it with. He says, well, mom would have let me keep it. And then he's saying, she says, not on a trip this long.
Yeah, exactly.
And then secondly, that barn he was going to run into, you see this dead guy up here in the corner.
Yeah, I thought that was a really great moment, because this kid comes upon this abandoned house.
Yeah.
And it says clean up on the outside with an X. And she basically kind of is protecting his innocence. This kid has actually never really seen the dark side of this world, because his sister has protected him throughout the entire process, because she knows that there's no reason for him to experience it when they're going to go to a better place anyway.
Yeah,
like they're going to get out of there, they're going to leave, they're going to flee this place. So the small child never loses his innocence while on this dead earth. And I thought that was a really cool ad. It's just like a nice little snippet, because there is a dude dead in there.
So when the boy backs out of the house after getting scolded by his sister, us, the viewer, are shown a dead body hanging in the corner behind the door. So I don't know. It's really sad. I think just the idea of 5,000 kids plus 5,000 companions, so 10,000 people migrating to one of 9 points on the earth.
Yeah.
And it just feels like they're just marching to, like, they know that they're the saviors of humanity, but it's still just like this, I don't know, slow death march because everyone else is going to be gone.
Well, it's not the fact that, like, hey, I got to get out of Earth free card. It's the fact that you have to make the journey to one of these points, and the Earth is a fucking, you know, like a dungeon. You know what I mean?
You got to get there.
It's a gauntlet to get there. Like,
I mean, it's like
there's creatures and there's weather.
And you have to do your part because you're supposed to save humanity on another planet.
Yeah,
you know, and that's why they required it to be children. I mean, so that
and then, like, on the way with all the creatures there's the one kid that gets scratched up by one of them.
Right, and they hustled that kid away, like, immediately and put her down.
Yeah, we had at one point, they stopped at a gas station. I will show the creatures. I don't want to show too much of the comic off just because I want people to go and buy it. So I want them to read the whole issue from our video. So I'm not showing so many pages.
Yeah.
But I will show you one of the centerfolds or surprises here. You do get one of these girls going off on her own when they're at the gas station playing, and she's playing in a car, and then she gets, like, accosted by these, like, moss zombies.
Yep.
And then scratched by one.
Yep.
And then later on, they can't save her, but I love how fast they move, like, because the bus driver has to deal with it. And he actually kills the little girl after she turns.
They bring the little girl into a garage, and she turns into a zombie so quick. So
she turns into one of those things, but a little girl version.
Yeah, this is definitely a Walking Dead type of series, but with a purpose, right? Walking Dead, you didn't know where you were going to end up. Like, what was the end game of all this? And we never found out, right? That was the big thing about it. We never got an answer. But I think this is going to have that. I mean, I'm not trying to say that this is any Robert Kirkman story, but I think this is going to have that. The thing about Walking Dead that we liked was that it was so
ambiguous.
It was about family. It was about the relationships. It was about taking care of each other. And then I think we're going to have that with this. Plus, we're going to have the payoff of knowing, how did this start? Who are these aliens that are contacting?
There's an overall goal of the mystery in this book. Where in Walking Dead it was just survival. You were there to see who survives and who dies, and where not knowing what their overall goal was going to be at the end. They're just journeying.
Yeah,
and you're along for the journey, and then the people change that story. It's drama,
right?
You know what I mean? It's like a soap opera in comic book form with zombies.
Yeah,
and there is some of that sort of in this because you're watching their struggle to get to one of these jump off points because humanity, like, the last war basically led them to making these mega cities where they'd wiped out 90% of the population. So everybody gathers in these major cities except for a few people in the outliers. And now they're, like, setting up buses for people in the outliers. That's what the bus driver guy's for.
Yeah.
But on the way there, it's already, we know it's not going to be 5,000 that make it because we saw the one kid.
Yeah. Yep. So what happens? Does their I guess maybe it's shown, I don't remember. What happens to their bracelet? Does that go to someone else?
No, they do.
I think
show
the bracelet's attached.
Yeah, they do show at the end that it there's another one of those 1950s, you know, duck and cover.
Yes,
that's exactly right, Timmy. Duck and cover. There's another one of those in black and white where it shows, like, a dad getting real jealous that one kid got one and his kid didn't.
Yep.
And it turns out that as soon as it's attached,
Bobby's dad.
As soon as it's attached, it is DNA somehow connected.
Yeah.
So when it's taken off, whoever it's taken off of, it won't work with them, and it won't work with anyone new.
I just really
don't be like Bobby's dad.
Don't be like Bobby's dad. Make sure that you are safe. I really
it's great. It really is great.
Plus, I like the map. Okay, the map in the back was cool. I felt like I don't know how to pinpoint it, but I read it twice because the first time I went through it, I was like, do I understand everything that just went on? And
I don't think you have to though. Like with the amount of world building they've given you in like six pages.
Yeah.
Because you got that front story, the back story, the back map, and like you
and
just
then,
you just
and
click,
even these
you know what I mean?
infographics like this one, you know, kind of just tell us more of the story without telling us the story, right?
Yes.
It's
world building, man.
It's Hickman, what's his first name?
Jonathan Hickman.
Jonathan Hickman does that, right, with X-Men, where he presents something.
I think he does, but in the way with X-Men,
Yeah.
it's not as, it doesn't sink in as much for me because it's like I feel like I'm reading
A dossier.
nuclear research.
You're supposed to feel that way.
I know, but I don't like that. Like I want a little bit more. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit more of a visual learner too. So when I get like a little cutesy backstory with it, but not
the
I could have
X-Men
done something with the X-Men one.
The
I'm looking at like infographics and fucking pie charts and percentages. And like
that. Well, that's
like, all right, dude. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's through every, and I'm deep into this rabbit hole now. Okay, so it's every title that it has this motif to it, and so maybe it's a letter from Beast to Xavier about what he's discovering about the regeneration, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And you're like, and it's so scientific, and I'm just like, that's the charm of it, though, I guess,
Well,
and that's Hickman's X-Men right now.
I had recently said that I'm actually jealous of X-Men fans right now because I don't have the time or the funds to buy 4 to 6 to 20 issues a month. 4 or 6 issues a week sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh man, like I'm into too many other ones and too many other books. And what's happening?
Your leg was making the camera.
Sorry. My bad.
You should just give a knee a little squeeze.
Yes, give it. I would stop.
Shit, what the fuck are you doing?
But I'm jealous of those fans because they get to read it and they're like invested in this world. And like
me.
Right. And like the funny thing is like I look at the other stuff they buy and like it's less other stuff and more just I'm just gonna read X-Men. That's it. That's all I need.
That's where I'm close
and
to it.
And that's where these fans are living. And I'm like, that's so cool.
I'm close to it. And then
I love that you guys are living in your own X-Men world and we're just outside. Like,
it's
what's
huge.
happening? And you're like, you don't even know.
You think the Marvel world feels huge? Well, then when you just narrow it down and you're an X-Men, you're like, I didn't realize this was so big.
Yeah.
And Juggernaut has his own title now.
Yep.
And it's really awesome because Juggernaut is bridging the gap between the X-Men and the Incredible Hulk, or the Immortal Hulk right now.
Oh, okay.
So Juggernaut has a connection with Xavier. They're stepbrothers, and Xavier is trying to talk to him for some reason. We haven't quite figured out why. But then the Juggernaut's also in the middle of trying to take down the Hulk. So it's bringing these two awesome series that are going on right now, and it's starting to bring the X-Men into the main Marvel comic universe, which they haven't been really a part of since X-Men were shut down just prior to the relaunch,
Yep.
But anyway, back to We Live. Okay, so this ends with them getting to their launch site.
No. They're still on their journey.
No. I'm sorry. What
happens is they
get to
a huge storm that destroys their bus.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, what I don't understand is the jump that we made from where they just put down the little girl who got scratched.
Yeah.
Okay. Blam. Turn the page. It's nothing but electricity.
Right. That's the storm. If you go back one page.
Well, there's just a jump. Now
I'm lost.
This is
why I'm like, what the hell happened?
This is implied exposition, though. This blam is just. This is not only like an end to this scene, but it's also just an end to this part.
Yep.
And then next scene is we just fast forward. They're in the bus. They're traveling to their next destination. That's.
I mean, I got
So the jump is a little jarring.
I knew the blam. That's okay. We're off of that.
Right.
But when you start the next scene here in the next page and panel, you are jumped right in the middle of this chaotic crash that's all purple and lightning
but you got lost there.
Yeah, I got lost onto like what
happened.
How'd we get here? You know what I mean?
I got it. It clicked for me. You know what I mean? Like
that's why I read it twice. I'm like, okay, so I mean I got there, but
sorry, I'm like in it right now. I'm in the whole shaky of the leg thing. My bad. I loved it though. I thought it was good storytelling because it saved them 3 or 4 pages of art and exposition.
Yeah.
Of just them just loading up into the bus and driving, and then all of a sudden this would happen 2 pages later anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just thought, get to it right away. I was like, that's awesome, and then move on. You know, you see that the bus has crashed. Now they're on foot.
So
I mean, next part of the journey.
A couple pages earlier, we're introduced to this new kid, and a girl, the giant girl with the weird glass head, dome head thing.
Like a suit of armor or something.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like an android or
robot.
something. But
Well, they refer to
Alice.
the thing as a female too.
yeah, Alice.
Yeah. So that's weird. And then so this new after the bus crash, the little boy we've been following, his little VR helmet thing, game thing broke. And then the new guy that we're introduced to here fixes it for him. So now
Yeah,
we're
so
connected.
now he's completely in his fantasy world,
Yeah.
which is what his dead mom made his sister promise.
Yeah.
Was that she wouldn't let him basically know reality.
Yeah, she did not want her son to know how bad things had gotten.
Right.
Right. I mean, it's probably what a lot of parents right now, JP, tell me what you're feeling. New parent and your baby's born.
How are
and-
you talking
then-
to your infant about Trump?
And then in the midst of a pandemic.
I'm a little bit more of an optimistic person about that because I'm with this book in the idea that she doesn't need to know about it. I mean, she's a month old.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we're talking right, all right. But I'm talking about future and like things like that. And like
Yeah.
when she starts to learn, I will be the girl in this book who protects her little brother from that world and show, you know what I mean?
We're at a different situation. My daughter's 2.
Yeah.
She's making memories now.
Yes.
And so she doesn't know what it was like before. So when we go into stores, we put masks on, and that's her reality, and we're not going to play it up that, hey, your childhood right now sucks. I mean, we're not going to play that up. We're just going to,
it's just the norm.
for her.
Right now we're at a huge pivotal point where we've been really lucky and really just in America in our freedoms of do this, do that, go to the movies, go to games, go to, this, go to social gathering, go to here and there, go to the mall and shop. We're pulling back and going to core family again, where you're going to have to spend a lot more time at home. You're going to do a lot more activities at home. I think that's actually going to help those younger kids because they're going to have home memories and not this memory of a world that they couldn't go out and play in. You just have to be smarter and make better choices about where you go and how you do it.
Yeah.
I think that's going to help them in life.
Yeah. It's just interesting because it's like my daughter's first memories of when we go to the store or we go to the restaurant, masks on and off, we can only have them off when we're at the table, and that kind of stuff. All these rules that are brand new to us, but they're going to come up thinking that that's just what we did.
Well, and I think it's going to be a new norm. I think you're going to see all the service industry take on masks, all the people who serve food take on masks. I really think masks are going to be a huge commonplace moving forward, even after we get a vaccine for this thing. I really think masks will be just a part of our world. It'll be a part of politeness. It'll be a part of respect in a lot of different places, especially large gatherings. I think you'll see it a lot.
So,
I don't think they're going away.
No, I mean, Japan's been doing it for forever.
Absolutely. And I don't think it'll be widespread of everyone will wear them, but I think you still will have individuals that will go forward. Like I'm anywhere I go in terms of public places, gas stations, restaurants, or like to get stuff
in my car.
I wear my mask, and I will continue to even after this thing.
In my car, I've got like 5 of them.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll do it after it calms down.
And yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. But
And I got mine right here.
yeah. I've got a mask. Right here.
No, what's wrong here, baby?
Anyway, back to the comic.
Yeah.
They are in the midst of their own version of disaster.
Yeah.
And like I said, they're making their way. Now, what I don't understand is, would you immediately believe these things that fell from outer space with this horrible
That was
message?
sort of my problem with it too. Was, hey, you guys are gonna die. Give us 5,000 of your children.
Yep.
We're gonna save them.
I think that's also the scary part, though. It's just you're going to the unknown with promise of something better. You know what I mean? It's almost like a little bit of a play on heaven and hell. Like do these things and you'll you'll come with us to the special place.
That's
You know what I
funny.
mean? So it's a little bit of a commentary on that too. I think that's kind of just deep seated into this book.
I think it's just a ripoff of the Pied Piper.
It's close.
Oh god.
How much would that suck if I got that right?
If the bus driver was like, "I am the Pied Piper of children."
Yeah. And what, just runs them right off a cliff?
Lemmings.
Okay, so there's these really cool creatures that we run into now where they look like lions and peacocks kind of thing.
They're like really fun colored. They're like the James Cameron Avatar version of a lion.
Yeah, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's very Avatar-ish. But all the while, the kid thinks he's in like a robot, like heaven kind of thing.
His VR helmet thingy is showing him just this completely different universe, and he's not being quiet about the stuff he's seeing.
Yeah. I would just like to have seen a little bit more of what society's reaction was to this. You know what I mean? Because we don't get that. We get these things fell, they listen to the message, and all of a sudden we're jumped right to people making their way to the motherships, you know?
Well, I think it might be just they've created that technology.
Lean in a little bit.
They've created that technology. Can you hear me?
No, you cut out of my headset. But you're still on here, so you're good.
I got you. But I think that's part of just I think that's human technology. I don't think it's alienating.
Right.
I think it's something that's human created, and that's why they have such a willingness to go towards it. Like, I think it's just future technology.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion, but that's a question to be asked. I mean, I like that part of the mystery in this book.
Yeah.
For sure.
Are you not getting him either?
No.
Shit.
No, we're not getting his mic.
I'm getting him on here.
You're getting him from the other microphones, I think.
Even when I tap, though.
Oh, okay. Probably quit doing that for the listener.
Anyway, let's just keep moving forward. I don't know what happened to JP's.
Did you accidentally hit mute or something? Weird. Anyway.
JP, talk again.
Hello.
He's back.
There we go.
How did that happen? Did you hit mute?
It must have.
You must have touched it.
I must have touched you, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So
mute me again, Daddy.
So for those listening, we're sorry. Anyway,
well, it wasn't my fault, so I'm not apologizing for shit.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
We jumped to the past where the kid and his sister are basically their mom is dying. The dad has already died. The cross is in the yard. And then when the mom dies, there's 2 crosses.
Right.
And the girl has to take on the responsibility of getting her brother on board.
Right, because she found one of the pods, but she immediately put it on her brother.
Yeah, so that she could ensure that he was safe.
Yeah.
After the world ends, we don't even know how it's going to end. We don't even. We do know that it's come a long way down, right? That it's fallen so far.
I think the world has pretty much ended. It's just people are living in the aftermath of what happened. So.
Yeah, and we don't really know. I mean, we do know, like, it was very vague at the beginning.
It's a slow death for these people. There is the human race is going extinct on this planet.
Yeah, that's 60 years from now. That's really quickly how fast it went downhill.
All it takes is a pandemic. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
And an imbecile president.
I'm sorry. But that's the end of
the man who can ride his bike with no handlebars. No handlebars. No handlebars. Look at me. Look at me. Sorry.
It's a good reference though. But that's where the book ends, because the next page you turn to and it just shows their route, and shows they have a long way to go, and it shows kind of the timestamps of how long it's going to get them to take how long in time it's going to take to get them to get there.
Yeah.
So it kind of keeps ticking down, which I liked.
It built a bigger universe, but it didn't explore a whole lot of it.
Not yet.
But I think that's a good thing. With the infographics they did and the little maps that they did with the drawn path of where they're going.
No.
I think they did a fantastic job with that. And they showed so much area. Like, I'm not even sure what this map is.
Not yet.
But it looks like,
I think we'll find out more about these
things. The Great Lakes, don't they?
Kind of. But then again, the Earth has been reshaped because it flooded, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it just shifted.
And then I don't think it shifted. I think the water level just changed, and so the shape of everything is.
That's quite possible too, because it could be a map that's. But I like it. I like looking at this. I like studying this. Like, this is a map that I like quite a bit. It's even got the infographics of the numbers to figure out where it's at.
Yeah, I like it when they talked about down in the.
You can show that off on the camera.
Yeah, down in the corner where we have this guide to what animals you'll find where. My favorite is the Aloraptor site.
The Aloraptor, yeah. I'm not going to the Aloraptor site.
Winged Butcher site. What?
Wiener.
Hey, Winged Butcher site. That was a good one.
That's
the Bengal Ripper
that
site.
looks like a gorilla with wings.
I know it does. The Blueback Smasher site.
And I think it has horns.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
That thing looks
But
sweet.
I think the creatures here are amazing. Like, this is a little bit of, like you said earlier, you brought up Robert Kirkman. This does have a kind of what's his other book called?
The Elseworlds kind of thing.
Yeah. What was it called?
I'm still reading it.
Yeah.
It's still really good.
No, right?
It'll come to me.
Yeah.
It's his alternate reality book.
Yes.
Porkies.
Yes. Porkies.
Perfect.
But overall, I think everybody should give this book a read. Go out and buy it. We did have the luxury of having plenty of these at Rainbow Comics, Cards, and Collectibles, 3310 South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So you can check that out there. They had probably 25 to 50 issues.
Do you know what I love? Aftershock.
That was great.
Aftershock, they're not huge, but they never skimp on like quality, paper, or even in this case, the tri-cut cover. You know,
This is amazing. This is a beautifully presented book.
I know.
Absolutely. Tri-cut cover.
I never feel disappointed with Aftershock stuff.
How did we feel about the art just in general of this book?
At first I was not a fan.
I think that's what drew me to this book, to be honest. Because it was sitting on the shelf and it was so colorful and so different,
vibrant.
And then I picked it up and I was like, wow, it's got really good tact to it, and like you can it's got that little weight. And then I discovered it had this, and then I looked at the QR code and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is beautiful.
You get like a whole package with that.
Well, yeah, and it's fucking $4.99. It's $5.
So
like,
yeah,
if this was a DC or Marvel book, it'd be $10.
So even though this is going to come out on the 26th, this book came out 2 weeks ago, not this past week, but we didn't get around to talking about it. But it's been on our list. So, yeah, it's out. It's available.
Oh yeah, you can still get it.
Check it out before.
I think this book is slowly gaining steam though. Like,
is it going to
just word of mouth?
Is it going to be a?
I think it's an ongoing right now.
It's going to be an ongoing.
Yeah, I think it's ongoing right now. I mean, most things from Aftershock don't go too far. Maybe 16 issues.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe get a sequel or something.
Yeah,
but we'll see. I think this
unless
book has
you Donny
potential.
Cates, he's still doing Baby Teeth.
I know, it's crazy.
It's like 30 issues.
And Redneck.
And Redneck, that's still going.
Yep, they released like a special like a month ago.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Redneck's still going too with different specials.
Have you been reading it?
No.
Oh, okay. Do you
No.
do you before we get to the next book, do you still read any monthlies? I mean, are you going?
Right now, it's only Firepower.
Oh, and I haven't read that at all.
Firepower is the greatest book that no one's reading right now.
Huh. TR's yawning. It was so bad.
No, it was a good one.
Firepower is one of the best. Like,
I haven't read it.
It's the way it's all the good storytelling of Robert Kirkman with like a just quicker, fast-paced action. It has good world building and like the human element to it.
You should read Die 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 if you want fast-paced action.
Yeah, exactly.
That's Robert Kirkman.
Yes,
too.
absolutely. But the action's really good, but the story is there, and you get to learn and love these characters that are in the story. It's so well written. Like, all the conversations are just feel so natural, and like the conversation and writing flows
he's
so well.
Great at writing dialogue.
Yeah, it's amazing. You're just reading it,
and he's great about
enveloping,
flushing out characters. You know what I'm saying? Like
but it's also a martial arts book. It's like a super powered martial arts book.
Yeah,
you would like that.
I know. I'm gonna have to get into it in the trade because I didn't when it hit.
Well, there is a prequel trade. Like, there's a story that they released.
Yeah,
that's a trade, and it's the whole prequel of like what happened in this guy's past. It's not required reading, but it is nice to know all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so you get all that. Like, you get a snapshot of this book. Yeah. And where it's going to take place with his past. So you can actually live that first before you read the series. And that was just released as an original graphic novel.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
TR, what do you read ongoing?
There's a bunch of stuff that I do. Wonder Woman, Justice League.
Do you read
Detective?
Batman, the 101. Did you read that this week?
No, I didn't.
Do you read it?
I tend not to read Batman. I do Detective sometimes. Like, I'll buy it more than I read it. Truthfully.
Well, now that this Joker War is done,
yeah,
like both Detective 1028 and Batman 101 were both really good because Bruce is broke, And so they really bring it back to its roots. He has to now be Batman. He's living in a brownstone thing that he owned in the city, in Gotham. So he's not on the outside of the city anymore. His house is gone. Um, and it's like, how does he be Batman without all the money?
Right.
Right. And it's great. I mean, like, he doesn't, these both issues, he didn't have sidekicks in it. He didn't have anything. It was just grassroots Batman shit.
Nice.
And it's like probably the best thing I've read from DC in forever. Just, it was just refreshing. You know what I mean? That there's all this buildup of Jokers, Batman, blah, 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 blah. And then both of these stories were like humbling to read about Bruce and Batman, you know? So, kind of excited about what DC's doing again.
That's cool. It's good to be excited about what they're doing. I mean,
Yeah.
I would hope that they just have faith in their top brands and just kind of keep moving forward and producing comics. That's what they need to do.
I'm personally looking forward to The King in Black.
I think everybody is. I think that's going to be a great culmination of what Donny Cates has been doing for Marvel. I think it's what he's been working up towards ever since he started working there. I mean, all his stories have something to do with this character, the Null character, and Venom and the symbiotes.
Did he write Black Surfer?
Silver Black, yes.
See, because that was also a contact he had with Null.
And I think that's gonna. I think the Surfer will show up in
because then in the current Thor storyline where he's the Herald of Galactus, or that just ended, right?
Yeah,
the Surfer was black in there, and that's why he's not this Herald right now. Is because he's been touched by Null. We have Venom that's running from Null. We have Carnage that's just recently put down. I'm sure he'll come back too.
Yep. And I think the Black Winter character is going to take
I don't know, that kind of died quick because
I think so too,
all it was is Galactus. It's like, hey, turns out Galactus is a herald for Black Winter and he has to pay his debt now.
And I think that might work into it.
You do?
I think there might be something that works into that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a little bit more on Galactus, but I think that Black Winter character and that idea could come in King in Black somewhere.
Yeah.
Because they keep putting these little.
When's it happening?
I think it's November.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
Because I swear I'm reading 75% of what Marvel puts out. I might as well just drop everything else and just buy Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're reading all the X-Men titles. It takes
all the X-Men titles. Daredevil, Iron Man just got rebooted, Immortal Hulk, Spider-Man. I'm only reading one Spider-Man title. I will say that it's just the Peter Parker Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah. Well, that makes sense though. I mean, Amazing should always just be. It should always come out. It's like Detective Comics.
Yeah, but the Batman series has always been better than Detective, in my opinion.
I hear you. No,
so that's
agree,
what
100%.
That was what's hard. Is Detective is the flagship story, yet it's never been as good.
Right.
I don't think, but
no, I don't think so either. I don't think Detective Comics has been that great.
DR, what you thought?
That's generally where I fall with it too. For some reason, I've been buying Detective for a while.
I've probably been buying it for about 100 issues, and I find it difficult to let go.
Yeah, I find the same thing where it's like, I'm not loving this as much. I should just stop.
I will say 1028 that I read earlier today is good. So, and I didn't even read the 1027 thing. It was like this huge catalog. Did you Batman?
Wasn't it
Detective Comics?
Wasn't it 1027?
1027. It was the anniversary of the first appearance of
It was the
Batman.
first appearance of Batman, so it was technically the 1000th issue with Batman.
Well, anyway, there were so many goddamn stories in it, and I was just like, and none of them were
goddamn
stories. None of them were relevant. None of them were good. I mean,
it was just a book.
We had, a year and a half ago, we had the issue 1000. It was full of great stories. This was
not that
cobbled together horse shit. So I skipped it, but it's in my collection.
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
All right, let's get to what the main event here.
The main event. I think We Live was the main event, but Marvel also picked up the license recently to publish Warhammer.
How do you
comics.
feel about
World
that?
of Warhammer.
I mean,
Stop.
I really don't like that Marvel is starting to pick up licensed materials, that's come from a different, I don't know. Because to me, Marvel, are they going to put Warhammer now into the Marvel universe?
No. I don't think that could ever possibly happen ever. So
you watch.
No, I don't think that could ever happen ever. I really don't. Like, maybe.
Now you're like, damn it, they're gonna do it.
I mean, they figured out a way to fucking put Conan in there.
I know.
So
they'll be like, God
Excuse
damn
me.
it, they're gonna do it.
I really don't think so though, with the way that this book is presented. And they went out and they got Karen Gillan, they got Jason Burrows, they got I'm probably gonna butcher this name. It's Java Tartaglia. No, I'm just kidding. Tartaglia? Java or Java Tartaglia?
Yeah, it looks like Java. Olsen.
Yeah, Olsen. Yeah, that's how you pronounce Samsonite. I was away.
Samsonite.
But Warhammer, they've picked it up. It's being produced by Marvel now. I actually enjoyed this quite a bit. I was very worried because, like you said, were they going to fold it in? And I was also like thinking the original source material is super dark. It's just war, death, destruction, depressing all the time. It's just future, future, super future sci-fi of just complete dark death world. You know what I mean? Always war. Billions die every day. Yeah. On planets all over the galaxy. And yeah. So I thought they were going to dumb that down because it is just constant war. But I thought they did a beautiful job. Karen Gillan was the perfect person to really grab this book, because rather than do what they do by world building, they just took a world and filtered it for new fans, but didn't take away all the things that made it great for like fans like me who know the universe really well. I guess I can ask TR, how did you feel being introduced to this world? Did you feel lost at all?
I didn't feel lost so much, but I definitely felt like I was missing out because I don't play the games.
Sure.
And I'm not involved.
That's
in
what I
any
was
of
going to
that
ask
stuff.
you, like, because I had.
I mean, one thing sorry to interrupt you. One thing I just wanted to show off. This is how much they didn't shy away from the original source material, though. Like this scene right here is
straight from the game.
I mean murder, death, destruction. It's war. They didn't shy away from it too much. It's still a Marvel book, but that's as much gore as I've seen in a Marvel book in a long time.
Yeah.
So they didn't. It's not overt, but there is scenes where you see it, and they're just building this story around the characters when they're not warring.
Yeah. I just hate that and like I just said, if they would just put out the book, just put out the Warhammer stuff, and it's its own thing, and Marvel's name is on it, obviously, because they're the publisher, but it's when they fold it into everything else, then I'm just like, God damn, now it's just become stupid.
Tell me about it. I mean, I really hope that they don't.
Like you were so sure that Conan was not going to be part of the Marvel Comics universe, and they did that pretty quickly with Conan and Wolverine.
Super quick, and I know that they made it work for that little story. They didn't make it super matter though. It wasn't like this huge thing.
No, but it was a fun mashup series.
They did a good job of mashing it in. And
yeah,
I didn't think it was.
I read it.
I didn't think it was. I read it too. I didn't think it was overly bad. Like it could have been worse.
No,
like we could have had. We could have had.
What it was a nice introduction. Make Conan meet Wolverine, and in some kind of universe crossover.
Yeah,
and then we don't really have Conan interacting with the rest of the Marvel universe again, but we know that it could happen. You know what I mean? He's off in his own, in Chimeria doing his own thing, but at some point there could be a way to bring him back in, and they left that door open with the Wolverine series
for sure. No, absolutely, 100%. I don't know. I don't see Warhammer and the regular Marvel universe working together in any way, shape, or form. I mean, it's literally just kill, kill, kill. And, I mean,
so what's the premise of the story here?
So you have Marnius Calgar, who's basically one of the heroes of the Ultramarines. The Ultramarines are basically the poster boys of Warhammer. Those are usually the guys you see instantly on a Warhammer book.
Yeah.
But they're ultimate genetically altered soldiers from childhood.
Nice.
That's not like their body inside there. They've been placed inside this machine. So they're basically human Terminators. And all they do is go around and make sure that they're protecting.
So the machine is their body?
Yeah. And
with just a human head on it, like the captain there.
I mean, there are guys that get into power armors, but this is stuff where they get into here, but they're pretty much sealed inside.
Okay.
So they still have a body, but they're sealed inside this thing. And then sometimes they even get from this into a bigger one. Like those are the bigger power suits. So it takes a power suit to run a power suit. But they're placed into this thing, and they're overall like think of like The Witcher, how he's just, I don't know if you read that, but
I did, yeah.
But he's mutated from an early age to like accept all these different chemicals and all these different things to enhance him. Well, these guys are the same thing. They're just enhanced for war.
Yeah,
and that's all they do. But they're protecting Ultimar. They're protecting their home world, and they're always trying to spread Ultimar and the human race, or the Ultramarine race. So that's what they're doing. You know, they're making sure that
dog.
They're making sure that they don't die, but they're also making sure that the race lives on.
Yeah.
So there's not just one bad guy in Warhammer, and that's why I think it's a good license for them, because there's, I want to say, 20 different factions that you can at least even play as.
Yeah.
But in the world, there's probably even more.
Yeah.
And each world is different. Sorry, I'm getting I got a bug in my
Who's
throat.
Marnius Calgar now? Is he, or is it the group?
Marnius Calgar is this character here.
He's the dude.
Yep. He's basically one of the big badasses of Ultimar and the Ultramarines. So he's just one of their generals.
So is there like are these the good guys, or is there not
If there
good
is
guys, bad guys?
If there is good guys in the world, these guys are it.
Okay.
Yep. These guys
He's
are it.
Super Marine.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
There's plenty of different factions around the world. There's you ever seen, of course you've seen Starship Troopers, but there's like the bugs. There's actually a faction like that. They're just like a collective bug race.
Okay.
And they kind of do exactly what they did in that movie. So there's those bugs in that, but that's not in this book. There's also these like robot guys, which are like Terminators.
Yeah.
They all have one. They're like the Borg.
Yeah.
Which you can play as them as well. But this book isn't about them. It's just about Marnius Calgar. And you find him just doing his daily business and going about his...
You're right. They can create a whole... I mean, just using the Warhammer universe and with all these factions that can be these sub-series, they could do a lot with it.
Yeah, and that's why I think there's no real reason for them to cross over, because there's so much already in there with Warhammer's lore and characters and recognizable characters that if you know the storylines that they're going to use. Because he's one of the big characters there, but I play a faction where they've got a god who's like a Primarch, and then they also have this other god who's like big characters and people.
Yeah.
So, and they all have like interconnecting, storylines between each other. But overall, I think it's good sci-fi, and I think they did a good job just representing this universe. I can't speak for a new fan. TR's the new fan here. Did you at least even enjoy the book?
I don't.
It was. Oh.
I don't. Before you say your thought on it, I was instant. Two reasons. One, I don't play Warhammer.
Yeah.
So I was like,
it's a deep world. It's tough.
And then secondly, again, I don't know why, but I am just kind of anti-licensed products. I don't know. I don't read G.I. Joe. I don't read ponies. I don't read. And what's up with bronies? You know what I'm saying? TR, do you know any?
I remember being at a store recently, and there was a brony there who was stoked about a crossover.
Yeah.
But to me, it seemed like he wasn't harming anyone. That's my view on furries too. Is like, well, they're not bugging me, so why get mad?
No. I'm not saying get mad. I'm going, what's the allure to My Little Ponies?
You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah. It's not for me, so I don't get it.
Yeah, me either.
But they find comfort in it. They love it.
So on Wednesday, when I buy an issue, you won't laugh.
No, it's money in my pocket.
I just want to like check it out, but like not be like the weirdo and be like, the fuck, Tyler.
I don't care what you buy as long as your credit card clears. No, but I like this book quite a bit as a fan. I did. It's definitely a book that's going to be tough for newer fans to get into. I know that. Yeah. But I brought this to the table because it is Marvel, and they have purchased this license to publish. Yeah. And I thought it was interesting, and I was really worried, but I thought that this book was good. And in terms of bringing over the Marvel universe, I really don't think they would, because in this book, there's one ad for a Marvel book. That's it right there. It's barely there. But the rest of this book has no ads except for
so it's like it's not overtly in your face that this is
and that book. One ad is the page that they use for the digital code. So I mean that barely counts as an ad.
No, it's an ad for Marvel.
Yeah, it's barely an ad, and the rest of it is all Games Workshop advertisements. So it's like in the back their digital card game, which sucks. So don't worry about that. But it also has the actual game on the back. Yeah, and it also says officially licensed product for the Games Workshop. So I just don't think that they're going to put that tag.
You're right. Now that you say that, I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. This is probably a standalone thing.
That's what I'm thinking. But it could be like Marvel has a miniatures game out right now, but it's not published by them. That would be an amazing license for Games Workshop to get for miniatures.
The Marvel game.
If they could do a miniatures game for Marvel or figured out something.
But Marvel has one.
They do have one that's licensed now. That's a minis game that's very much like Warhammer, because you don't play it with It's a miniatures game. It's a mini. It's a minis game. You play it with rulers and you play it with rolling dice, just like Warhammer is, but it's not made by the same guys.
Okay, so with the titling Warhammer 40,000,
yes,
what's
that's
that
the year.
To? Okay,
yep,
the year 40,000.
Yep.
Okay,
so that's very, very far in the future.
Yep.
So that's why
humans are still alive then.
I mean, like, if you count this as being alive, then yes.
So but there are no other human-like races.
Absolutely, there are. There's a gene stealer cult that mutates people, and they kind of like hide amongst people by mutating themselves into humans to infiltrate. They're like the spy secret network of. They're the alien race that just wants to spy on people and steal their body.
No, 40,000 years. That would literally almost double our existence.
Right, and that's why this book is. You don't have to really believe in it because it's so far in the future. You know what I mean? There's no like. There would be no scientific boundaries on the year 40,000.
No, because
you'll never see it.
Because we would have no clue by that time. I mean,
yeah. So I like that. It's the year it refers to the millennium, and yeah, it's just dark chaos. It's war. There's not a whole lot of happy going on in it.
No,
it's a heavy book, but it's just it's action. You know what I mean? It's
so just earlier, TR, you made a joke. You said World of Warhammer.
Yeah.
What's the joke?
World of Warcraft.
Yeah. And so, Warcraft. Did you like World of Warcraft?
I was too young for that game when it came out because
Did you like it?
I liked what was the original Warcraft stuff. I liked those.
StarCraft and shit.
No, Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
StarCraft's a different game.
I know it's kind of like this. They also have a fantasy version too called Age of Sigmar, Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
Okay. That's pretty good. I like fantasy stuff more than I do sci-fi stuff.
I do too, to a degree, but like I had played so many fantasy games prior to this, and I honestly think the imagery and like these guys like on the back here when you paint them up look fucking cool.
Yeah, they look
really cool. That's one of the coolest things is like the aesthetic of this game and the aesthetic
of
this
in that
book.
Command Edition, what do you get in that?
Oh god. I mean, that's like $200 to $300.
Yeah.
But you get all these minis in it. I mean, you're going to get a ton of stuff. But that's hard. That's one of the hard things about this game is you can't really dabble in Warhammer. You can't be like, I like a little bit. You have to like play,
invest, and you have to play, and you have to invest.
Well, and you have to build everything. Everything comes on a little sprue,
fucking comic collection.
Plastic sprue.
I don't need another collection.
You have to clip out, glue together, model yourself, and then paint them to put them on the table. I mean, you can put them on the table gray, but everybody knows that painted armies roll better. So
yeah. Well, and you if you're like a scrub when you show up with unpainted armies,
that's
right? And you're like, why are you playing this game if you're not going to get into it?
That's right. But they're trying to scale that back with this newest edition that came out this year. They do updates to the rules every like 5 years, and they put out a new big rule book that just addendums a lot of things, but teaches you the game.
Yeah.
So this year they're doing that where you can create smaller scale battles, larger scale battles, because generally this is a big table game. Like this is like a 6x4, play with hundreds of miniatures on the map and create war.
That would be awesome.
It is awesome when you get it all together. It's very cool and very fun.
So we're gonna play a game soon.
Yes, I think we are.
We're going to have a night of tabletop gaming, probably around Christmas time. Should we talk about what it's called? What's the game called?
The game is called Don't Look Back. It's from Blacksite Studios. It's currently, or prior, they were just a terrain manufacturing company for miniature games. So they give you buildings and houses and tokens and different things, all cut from MDF wood. So it's laser cut wood.
So, okay, so you don't have to buy branded terrain like when you're playing Warhammer. You don't have to have Warhammer made mountains. There's a third party that you can buy from.
Oh, there's hundreds of them. Wow. And also there's things that the 3D printers. People sit at home and make 3D printing all day.
Yeah.
So they make houses and they make bushes and they make trees and they make rock formations and hills and shit like that, or battlements, sandbags, you know what I mean? But the terrain just enhances the game. I would say a good game of Warhammer has about 15 to 20 pieces of terrain on the map, just because you're playing in it, you want to be in it, and it does count for line of sight in the game.
Yeah.
So it kind of just adds an element of strategy. So if you have
if there's
stuff,
if there's a building or there's a tree,
I mean, you look at it. Yeah, you look at it as like more of like a battlefield commander, because you're like, okay, what's my strategic advantage of taking this house? You know what I mean? My troops going into this dilapidated structure or something like that, hiding in the rubble. So it's cool, and I think it adds to the game. If you play without it, it just becomes I volley and take out a bunch of your guys. You volley, you take out a bunch of my guys, and then it's just charge in and you've got tooth and nails scratching at
That's
each
what I
other
was like,
'cause you
yeah.
just said,
Yep.
because everybody goes to the big stuff
Yep.
first, you know, like everyone looks at the big figure and is like, I'm gonna fuck that up this turn. Like,
Yeah.
whole army roll 800 dice. Because there's been attacks in that game where I've had to roll 60 dice.
Wow. To get the number you need.
Yeah, because you have to like, all right, I've got this many troops. They all have 2 attacks in melee. I roll 60 dice.
Do you do it? Why do you have to do them in one roll?
I mean, you don't have to. It's just fun.
Oh,
But I'm just
okay.
saying.
I'm like,
you can roll them in.
can't you like roll your couple guys?
Absolutely.
Roll for the couple more guys. You know.
You can absolutely. You can roll in pairs of 10 or something. You know what I mean? And then count it up, because then you count out hits, and then you see all those hits. You got to see if they wound though, if they go through the armor.
Right.
So
It's
anyway,
like playing Magic the Gathering
A
with
little
your,
bit.
with your hit points and shit.
yeah, a little bit. I mean, but
Do
overall,
you ever
you're
play Magic?
I did years and years ago, decades ago.
You want to start a Magic club with me?
no.
I'm good, thanks.
Okay.
I did order some Magic cards that are coming out next year, though. Wizards of the Coast did a exclusive set for Walking Dead, and it's like 15 cards, and it's like 10 cards. So it's
You ordered it for yourself?
yeah. I ordered a couple of them, but there's an original Negan card, a Michonne card, a Daryl card, a Rick card.
Nice.
Yeah, I think a Glenn card.
Yeah.
And it's the first time they've ever done their foray not into crossover, because they've done Godzilla cards and
Yeah.
stuff like that with alternate art, but these are actual, like, the Negan card is a Negan card. Like, it's not like his image over top of an older Magic card or a reprint of something. It's Negan in the game of Magic.
Yeah.
So Magic fans were pissed.
Yeah.
Because they're
it's
creating original cards
Yeah.
that are other products.
Yep.
And they're really pissed
That's
about
how
it.
I feel about
Right.
fucking Warhammer in my Marvel.
Right.
Okay. So,
People were real pissed, though.
okay. So, my son and I like Magic. And when I was in Chicago last week, we went to comic store and we both bought a commander deck and picked a different color.
There you go.
And we both played blindly. Just open the box. We're going to play
Sure.
it. We're going to play it.
You ever
'Cause-
played Commander before?
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. I was
Yeah.
like, you'd be really confused.
Yep. And then, we've been playing for a while. I'm not up on everything, but as far as the main mechanics of most of the core deck. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're playing commander decks, and then we came up with this idea where we're just not going to play those decks again. And every time we get together, we're going to buy a couple new commander decks, play head to head, boom, boom. And then after a while, we'll have this collection of decks, and then we'll just pick one at randomly and play blindly. And because we have been building decks for so long, and it's just like he knows what's in mine, I know what's in his.
Yeah.
And it's not something we want to get involved playing with other people, because I'm not like a little kid where I'm going to go to the comic store on Friday night over at the Dragon's Den. I don't know if they still do it, but playing Magic with a bunch of kids.
I hear you.
So it's just something my son and I do together, but to keep it interesting, we're going to start doing this
More random.
You grab a pre-made deck here and that's what you're going to use.
Yeah.
You don't get to flip through it, kind of thing.
I hear you. I have a lot of games like that, though. I just really love board games, but like I don't have a whole lot of people to play them with.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, we're about at an hour.
Yeah. We should probably wrap it up.
You were giving me a look. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. I was just doing the letting you know that we're coming up on an hour.
Yep.
All right. We should probably wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Quit
Let's
talking
wrap
about
it up.
Magic the Gathering.
And Warhammer and all that. But the books this week again were We Live #1 by the Miranda Brothers from Aftershock Books. Amazing book. I give it a 10 out of 10. Just really phenomenal. It was a book I kept thinking about after I read it, and I wanted to read more.
Finished it and I reread it, and when I reread it, I was like, I really like that book.
Yeah.
TR, what would you give it out of 10?
I was a fan, not as much as you guys were.
That's fine.
I'd give it an 8 out of 10, I'd say.
Would
That's
you?
fine.
I didn't find myself thinking about it a whole bunch afterward.
Yep.
I was not. I'm sorry, you couldn't talk me into buying Warhammer.
I never forced you to. I never
No.
was like you should.
He
And I know
forced
that.
me too.
No, I didn't.
I
Good point.
know
No, I
it was dangerously gross.
No. I actually think this is a 7, strong 7.
Would you?
Yeah, because it's still a mystery of what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? Like, are they gonna continue? Are they going to make this world unique?
I'm on with you, man.
So, yeah, I'm gonna go with a 7.
Are you?
Just as a fan. I mean, I like this book.
It
was good, it wasn't great.
nostalgic for you for the game.
It's cool for the game. It's something new for the game, and it's something that I can get excited about. Oh, cool, a Warhammer comic book I can read this week. Like,
Mhm.
they haven't had that in a long time. So,
Yeah.
at least one that I care about.
Wait till they make a movie.
Let's go.
Yeah. It'll be good.
I think so. Yeah, 7.
TR gave it 4.
I did.
That's fine. No,
When you
there's
said
nothing wrong with
7, he goes.
that. Nothing wrong with that. I completely understand. That's like telling someone to get into a universe and they don't speak the language. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's completely different in terms of like what they're alluding to and all. It has its own even like sub languages that each race talk in, kind of.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start doing what on our YouTube channel. Just to talk about our YouTube for a minute. I'm gonna start doing Wednesday videos of what I picked up.
Love it.
Over the week.
Yeah, I saw you posted one.
I won't put it on the podcast channel though, because it won't be much to listen to. It'll be more of a
Visual.
visual.
Look what I got.
Look what I got, guys. This is what I bought this week. Hopefully the quality will improve as I get more used to video making. TR, what do you got going on the old YouTubes lately for us?
Oh, I haven't done anything on YouTube for a little bit.
Yep.
I post the episodes. That's about it.
Yeah, we'll do the episodes. We're gonna because there was something else we were talking about.
Yeah,
for YouTube.
that's off-air stuff though, because it'd be boring to listen.
Boring. God damn it, Bobby.
We'll look forward to our board game that we're gonna play.
Yeah, get on the Facebooks because we've got our Facebook group, Smash and Grab Comics. We're on Instagram, Grab Comics on
Twitter.
on the old tweets.
Tweet, twat, twat.
Yeah. All right, guys. So it's been this is Smash and Grab Comics.
Yes.
I'm still Tyler.
I'm still JP.
I'm the other one.